This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories.
And welcome to my review of The Shadows of the Empire. This is the novel and not the game. I did manage to get the game through another game site that has it updated to modern PC specifications. I just haven't had the time to play it yet. I wanted to talk about the novel because I was really looking forward to it, and as I mentioned in the Ewoks show review, it's what got me through that really tough job being able to read this for the first time, since I knew it was supposed to be a good book, and honestly, it was really enjoyable. Prince Caesar is a great enemy in it, and I like how he is a rival of Vader, although it never is explained how Caesar knows that Vader is Anakin Skywalker. But besides that, it was just such a interesting and really fun story. I did enjoy it a lot. And going through really everything else, I think that it was a really solid story. The Fallen is set up as a very deadly species, and they show up in other novels. The one where they have the biggest presence besides this one from my other stuff I've read is the Scoundrels novel by Timothy Zahn, where they're going up against some of the higher up members of Black Sun, although not Shizor himself. And just going through this one, the story was just a very entertaining. It has, well, of course, the character of Dash Rendar in it, who is the main character of the game. And throughout it, there is just a bunch of interesting stuff. There is the stealing of the second Death Star plans, which, I mean, it is interesting, but it is a very small story in terms of especially something like Rogue One. But going through it, they don't specifically, let the rebels know it is that yet, because the characters discover that in Return of the Jedi. But we hear Palpatine himself saying that it is second Death Star plans and how it was set up for them to be able to easily see it. We also see how all the Bothans get massacred in this, and it is in a essentially starfighter battle. So it is odd that they're saying spies when in this one specifically it was a bunch of Bothan pilots. Some more do die when the bounty hunters head after Luke, sent by Mashizor to actually these are sent by Vader to capture him, and really everything between both Shizor and Vader was just a very interesting conflict to go and witness as Shizor is trying to push up in the Empire and take Vader's spot, and he wants specifically revenge for Vader going and massacring his family. And Vader just doesn't trust him. He doesn't think that a criminal should have that great of a prominence in the Empire and wants to take him down. And it ultimately ends with just a very great confrontation where Vader actually saves Luke because he uses that as an opportunity to take down Shizor, where he tells him not to fire on Luke Skywalker because he needs him alive. And in seeking vengeance for destroying his palace, Shizor goes and tries to kill Luke, and Vader uses that to justify killing him. And through it, it is ultimately a victory, since Shizor was planning to infiltrate the rebellion by having him be involved in the stealing of the plans of the second Death Star to get them to trust him, so he could go and betray them at the Battle of Endor. And yeah, Vader basically guaranteed that the Empire was going to fall at Endor, even through this, not knowing that would cause that, since I'm sure if she's showed up with a armada from Black Sun and turned on the rebellion, even if everything else went the way it did, they ultimately would have failed. And it would have been worse if they went with the strike team, since they would have been able to capture, well, probably just not even Han or Leia, because Leia would have been imprisoned. Well, let's just say she didn't go through this plan, and everything else went normally in Return of the Jedi, and they did rescue Han. Then they also would have had Black Sun with them on that strike team, and they would have also turned on them and could have even done something to turn the Ewoks against them. But just going through really everything here, honestly, it was, as I said, it was a really enjoyable story. There is some pretty dark moments as Shizor uses his pheromones to essentially try and force Leia to, well, let's say, be with him. And it's just a really funny thing after the entire controversy with the stuff in Andor, how this just keeps popping up as a topic in different Star Wars novels I'm reading. It's just a very funny thing. And to go to the specific thing of the Vader wanting to allow it, it's kind of funny where you could see a technical justification for that, where Vader would only not allow it so he could find a way to take down Shizor himself. But just going through everything else, Dash Rendar is a really interesting character in this. Yeah, it feels like he's very much trying to capture the vibe of Han Solo, since obviously Han couldn't be part of the story, since this is a post Empire Strikes Back, pre Return of the Jedi story where Han would be in Carbonite. But yeah, honestly, it was just really interesting. It was really one of my favorite parts of it, and I think that the story was it was ultimately a really enjoyable story. Really enjoyed its antagonist, and also really enjoyed all the characters in it. Although one odd thing based on other stuff to be set up is them not warning Leia about Valiant pheromones, because the Scoundrels novel I mentioned earlier, Han, Lando, and Chewie all know of it and its effects on people, so I am surprised that there isn't any warning from Lando about the pheromones. And although it seems Chewbacca did know, and he was I was trying to warn Leia about it, but Leia didn't speak Wookiee well enough to know. And yeah, honestly, this was just such a great novel. It was just really enjoyable. The book should have been added into the Essential Legends collection way earlier, because I do think this is one of the more important Star Wars stories to come out, with it being part of its first ever giant multimedia project. And yeah, honestly, it was really enjoyable. I'm very excited to play the game, and the entire thing with Dash Rendar dying, but me seeing later on that he does survive and fakes his death and that. Yeah, I mean it's a little contrived, but honestly it's enjoyable enough, and I do think that the story was a very enjoyable story, and I really enjoy how we just get to see all these other different aspects of it. But yeah, honestly, that's really all I have to say. Is that a really enjoyable story? I think they did a great job with it, and one of the only questions I have besides how she's or know who Vader is also why did Boba Fett really take so long to bring Han to Jabba the Hutt, since this seems that this is set almost directly before Return of the Jedi, which is a year after Empire Strikes Back, and it said that the reason they're going after Boba Fett in this, and the reason they with Dash Rendar for the first time, is because while they're going after Boba Fett, and Boba Fett still has Han, so it's just kind of odd, but yeah, honestly, it's really all I have to say. I said, really enjoyed it. I think they did a great job, and I want to know what you think. Please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next episode of Legends and Theories.
Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.